John Bush. Donating time to John is Robert Love. Catherine, I may not have this pronunciation right, Blaish, Catherine Blaish, signed up twice, but you only get to donate 3 minutes. So, John, you have 9 minutes.
Thank you, Council. My name is John Bush. I'm the Executive Director of Texans for Accountable Government. And today I'm going to be speaking to you about Agenda 21, how the Austin City Council and Austin Comprehensive Plan are damaging the Austin economy, promoting unsustainable development, and purveying social inequity. I spoke to the Council back in 2008. It was the first time for me to speak to the Council about Agenda 21, and I guess the language I used, it just came back to haunt me here. This is from the Austin Chronicle, the wonderful Wells Dunbar. It's also worth noting the growing impact of TAG, and thank you, Councilmember Spellman, for putting your neck on the line for us with that. It says a lot about the state of citizen engagement at City Hall when a political fringe group can impact policy. And then he goes on to say that while I'm a charismatic and effective speaker, I oppose local conservation and sustainability measures, and I construe them as a supposed tentacle of the United Nations' nefarious Agenda 21 plan, a conspiracy whereby the forthcoming one world government can more easily control the world's dwindling resources. Once again, I'm here to demonstrate to you that the Austin Comprehensive Plan, in large part, is being carried out with strong influence from the international level in a 1992 document called Agenda 21. It was written for the 92 United Nations Earth Summit by a gentleman by the name of Maurice Strong, who is a billionaire oil mogul who's not concerned with the environment. And basically, if Agenda 21 and its supporting documents like the Global Biodiversity Assessment were to be carried out to their full fruition, we would see an elimination of private property rights as we know them, a dramatic alteration of the political, moral, and social fabric of these United States, and finally we would see a reduction in the Earth's population. And if that sounds far-fetched, I invite you to ask Lucia Athens, the Sustainability Director, or just go to YouTube and search Lucia Athens, and you will find that she affirms the existence of an international plan to depopulate a large portion of the Earth's population. So there's no conjecture or conspiracy theory there. This is from Agenda 21, Chapter 28, and it discusses the importance of local governments getting involved with carrying out Agenda 21 and sustainable development. Here you'll see the first occurrence of the 3 E's that everybody's so big on these days. Local authorities construct, operate, and maintain economic, social, as in social equity, and environmental infrastructure. Those are the 3 E's we see pervade throughout the comprehensive plan and the comprehensive plan of other cities as well. This is calling on each local authority to enter into a dialogue with its citizens, local organizations, and private enterprises and adopt a local Agenda 21. This is exactly the basic illustration of what the comprehensive plan is doing, which you'll read right there. The process of consultation would increase the household awareness of sustainable development issues. It's also worth noting that the consultant that we hired for this process has participated in many international conferences put on by people that are purveying Agenda 21. This was 1997. They used to call it Local Agenda 21. This is from Santa Cruz, one of the first cities to bring out a Local Agenda 21 comprehensive plan. And now this is a document from J. Gary Lawrence, who's also from Seattle. He was a Seattle city planner, much like Lucia Athens from Seattle as well. This was written in 2002, The Future of a Local Agenda 21 in the New Millennium. Now let me tell you why our comprehensive plan isn't called Local Agenda 21. This is a strategy guide for the internationalists, for the globalists, for those purveying Agenda 21. It says other places have been much slower to adopt Local Agenda 21. Participating in a UN, this is down at the bottom, participating in a UN advocated planning process would very likely bring out many of the conspiracy-fixated groups and individuals in our society, such as the NRA, citizen militias, and some members of Congress. This segment of our society who fear one world government and a UN invasion of the United States through which our individual freedom would be stripped away would actively work to defeat any elected official who joined the conspiracy by undertaking Local Agenda 21. So here's the real kicker. So we call our process something else, such as comprehensive planning, growth management, or smart growth. And it's also worth noting at this point the Austin Climate Protection Plan, the page that rests on the city website, used to be the Austin Smart Growth Initiative, which we don't see it much of anymore. So here's the vision statement with the 3 E's we see: environment, equity, and economic opportunity, a beacon of sustainable environment, social equity, and economic opportunity. We see the same thing reoccurring in Seattle's comprehensive plan: economy, equity, and environment. They throw in community, which Seems to be something that's divided these days in Austin. Here's from Sacramento's comprehensive plan. The index consists of 14 indicators that address the 3 E's of sustainability, environment, economy, and equity. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how, while we are going with this internationalist plan, the Austin City Council can't even seem to get it right on actually bringing out the 3 E's. With economy, you guys ignore the market, and Austinites pay the price. With the environment, the Great Water Treatment Plant 4 boondoggle, or as I call it, how Agenda 21 promotes unsustainable development. And the equity issue, the Austin Comprehensive Plan actually leads to social inequity for those who are low-income families and East Side residents. So this is how Agenda 21 interferes with the economy. This smart growth is basically smart for big business developers and bad for local businesses. You guys incentivize smart growth like the Domain Mall, which in my opinion was another boondoggle, created an unfair advantage for these national chains, hurting our local economy. Additionally, this intervention like we're doing by incentivizing Plaza Saltillo, nobody is using the red line, so in order to spur use, we're going to try to create growth over there. And what we're doing is throwing money where there's not a market demand, so eventually I would say that a lot of those projects are going to fall by the wayside. Additionally, we're over-incentivizing big developers. It's creating unnatural growth and driving people unnaturally to Austin, putting a strain on our social services and causing many social services to end or an increase in taxes. This is how it's affecting the environment, how we can't even get the environment, the big sustainable development push. You see, Agenda 21, in accordance and also in addition to the cheap date that we're doing here with the City of Austin by not having barely any impact fees, we're subsidizing developers to come in. This works hand in hand with Agenda 21, which calls for transitioning populations away from rural areas and into urban developments. This is why we supposedly have the need for this big water treatment plant 4, because you guys' policies is creating unnatural growth, unnatural population growth is being driven here to the City of Austin. This is from Section 7.19 of Agenda 21. And you can see how it says they should also concentrate activities aimed at facilitating the transition from rural to urban lifestyles and settlement patterns. And this is what's happening when you guys are incentivizing growth here to the City of Austin. Also, the Wildlands Project, this is what this is eventually going to look like. This is the plans of the United Nations, and they don't just put this stuff out there and spend millions of dollars on these conferences for nothing. This is the Wildlands Project. I've showed it to you before. They would have corridor reserves where there would be limited to no human use. This is what a lot of the policies are looking like when they're driving people away from rural areas into compact cities. There's little black dots that represent little city areas. So here's how the comprehensive plan in the City of Austin is creating social inequity. I call it a tale of two plans. Some of you may be familiar with the 1928 comprehensive plan, which actually segregated the city and created a Negro district. This is from the East Austin Environmental Justice Project, the East Austin Environmental Justice History. Later, zoning was established to send industrial unrestricted use to East Austin. So this is institutionalized racism we see in 1928. Well, now we have the new comprehensive plan coming back to haunt the underprivileged. You guys set up your smart growth developments, your mixed-use development, and I know that each one of you are aware that this is raising property taxes in the area. A lot of the development is going to be happening on the east side of town, which sent a lot of minority populations, a lot of underprivileged and economically disadvantaged families also live on the east side. I happen to live on the east side in the same community as Pro Tem Martinez. And our Senate Hills HOA just sent out an article, property taxes rising too fast. Here's what you can do to deal with that. Basically, your sustainable development and your incentivization of growth on the east side is driving underprivileged families out of town. You're promoting social inequity when you claim to be promoting equity. So another note, this thing isn't comprehensive. It's lacking my viewpoint. You say that we have a consensus when less than 2% of Austin's population participated in this survey. Not to mention these contact teams aren't even taking into account the opinions of individuals living on the east side. I applied to be on y'all's little committee for the vision statement and for this process. I was denied. There's probably no libertarian whatsoever represented in this comprehensive plan. So please don't try to sell this thing as being the consensus of the people, because it's not. Thanks.